Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear respected brothers, sisters, and young friends in Islam, as many of you know, in North America we are going to experience an eclipse today, and many of you are asking, how do I pray Salatul Khusuf or the eclipse prayer? Number one, is this prayer sunnah? Is this prayer wajib? This prayer is sunnah because the Prophet ﷺ only did it once. Where should this prayer be prayed, and can it be prayed individually? Yes, it can be prayed individually, but it is better to pray it in a group as per the Hanbali school of law. The second thing is that it should be prayed in a large congregation and generally in the Jami' Masjid, like how the Prophet ﷺ used to do, how he would gather the companions in Masjid al-Nabawi. And this is the practice of many Muslim countries. They don't do it in small masajid, but they do it in the biggest masjid of each city. The third thing is, how do we actually pray this prayer? What is the sunnah of praying this prayer? How do we go about it? It's a little complicated, but if you pay attention, you'll understand. So number one, you start with Allahu Akbar, like a normal prayer. Then you say the thana, Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, all the way till the end. Then you recite Surah Al-Fatiha, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, all the way till the end. Waladhalleen, Ameen. Right? And then you recite a surah that is very long, Baqarah, Ma'idah, Nisa, or whatever long surah that you know as an individual, or whatever the Imam is reciting, you listen to it. Then you say Allahu Akbar and go into ruku'. So for a normal salah, you say your Subhana Rabbil Azim 3 times, then you say Sami Allahu liman hamida. And now at this position of Sami Allahu liman hamida, Rabbana wa lakal hamd, you say Rabbana wa lakal hamd as well, you wrap your hands again. And you recite Fatiha and another long surah, but it is not the same as the first surah, right? And then after you're done, you go into ruku' again, and again your ruku' is also long as well. Your ruku' is long as well, both of the ruku's. Then you say Sami Allahu liman hamida, and your standing here is long. So this is your second Sami Allahu liman hamida in the same rak'ah. So essentially you did Fatiha, surah, ruku', Sami Allahu liman hamida, Fatiha, Surah, Ruku', Sami Allahu liman hamida. And now you're standing for a long time. Then you finally say Allahu Akbar and you go into sujood. Your sujood is also long. Then you sit between your two sajdas, it's also long. Then you make your second sajda and it's also long. Then you come up for your second rak'ah and you repeat the same process again, except that it's shorter than the first unit. It's not as long. So what are you going to do? You're going to say Fatiha, Surah. Then go into ruku', Sami Allahu liman hamida, wrap your hands, Fatiha, Surah, Allahu Akbar again, Sami Allahu liman hamida, Rabbana wa lakal hamd, stand for a little bit, go into sujood, stay in there for a while, then sit, then go into sujood again, then get into the tashahhud position and finish off the salah that way. And generally it is prayed as 2 rak'ahs or 2 units in most masajid. And it should begin at the beginning of the eclipse and it should end at the end of the eclipse. Now, however, some masajid do it a lot shorter because people cannot handle the length of this prayer. And so maybe it's like an hour, something like that. So you have to be prepared and ready for this prayer, inshallah. The other thing is, after the prayer, generally the imam or the shaykh will advise people and remind people about the day of judgment, the hereafter, preparing for it, and that this is a sign of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and that we should fear for ourselves. Now, is it permissible to go view the eclipse? Yes, it is permissible to go view the eclipse, but generally the companions and the Prophet ﷺ would stay in the masjid in prayer. So it's better to stay in the masjid in prayer and do it from the beginning of the eclipse to the end of the eclipse. But if you happen to see it for 2 or 3 minutes, it's not a big deal, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq and understanding of the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.